I'm your host, welcome to 3 years joining me for My First Two Loves, Chapter 13, Polite Company. It was weird thinking about having dinner with the Jennings. Despite how close our families had once been, our parents hadn't kept in touch after Mom died, and things had changed a lot since then. And after my evening with Noah, I was beginning to wonder if I was changing too. Would it be weird hanging out with Mason now? Well, he's supposedly supposed to be your friend, so... As we strode down Mason's long driveway, Mackenzie's jaw dropped at the house that towered before us. Emma, why didn't you tell us that Jennings moved into a mansion? I already caught a glimpse of Mason's new house when we hot tubbed, but now I was getting the full effect. Mason doesn't talk about it much. They've done pretty well for themselves. Since when do high school principals make McMansion kinda cash? Well, I guess McModern in this case, but... Mackenzie, don't be rude. The Jennings offered to host, and it's been polite to ask about finances. Are we asking them? No, we're having polite conversation before we enter the house. I could tell the dad was surprised, though, and maybe a little bit sad that the Jennings seemed to have what we didn't. Wealth, prestige, stable family, who hadn't been touched by tragedy like ours had. Even though he was a doctor, paying for Mom's treatment had obliterated our savings. Now, seeing Mason's new house, the gap between our families seemed to have grown even wider. When we rang the doorbell, Mason's mom, Linda, greeted us with a wide, perfectly white grin. Dave, Emma, Madeline, I'm so glad you could all make it. Glanced at Mac, who opened her mouth to object, but Dad shot her a look. She pouted. Miss, Jennings, it's, Mackenzie, not Madeline. Oh, I'm so sorry. Mackenzie, it's really been too long. For you to remember a name, sure. She ushered us inside, and Dad raised an eyebrow, warningly at me, leaning in close to whisper, Emma, could you be a little bit more polite? That was polite. So could she. Dad grimaced, but before he could say anything else, Principal Jennings and Mason strode into the foyer. Hey, Emma. Dave, it's been too long. Your daughters are such a pleasure to have at Eastridge. Good to see you too, Jam. Hopefully the girls aren't causing too much trouble. Well, they've all bright futures ahead of them, as long as they don't get sidetracked by any undisciplined influences. As he said it, he caught my eye. Could he be talking about Noah? I felt uneasy. Well, there are a lot of paths to success. Certainly, let's hope you find a suitable one. As we made our way to the dining room, Mason's dog sniffed Mackenzie curiously, like he was meeting a stranger. Oh, Maverick doesn't even recognize me anymore. Mason sat down beside me at the dinner table. A portrait of Mr. Jennings during his Air Force days hung on the wall across from me. It's like old times, huh? If they start talking about stocks, I'm gonna fall asleep at the table. We all dug into the food, other than clattering of forks. The table was awkwardly silent. It was clear that what a pivotal role my mom had played in facilitating social situations. The room felt empty without her. Well, I'm sure Emma has mentioned this already, but Mason and Ava are dating. Really? I didn't know. We're so happy for them. We always liked Ava. She's smart, pretty, driven. She's also got a bright future ahead of her. Mason is lucky to have her. Mom, Dad. What? She's our girlfriend. You don't need to be embarrassed. I winced at the word girlfriend. Every time I thought I'd accepted their relationship, I still found myself struck with disappointment. After all of our years getting so close, I felt like my dreams of being with him had been obliterated in an instant. Emma, you must be overjoyed to see your two best friends together. Well, I'm surprised more than anything. I didn't see it coming at all. Mason and Ava never really hung out before this last summer. Sometimes love happens when you least expect it, doesn't it? Mom, please. What about you, Emma? How's your love life going? I hesitated. Should I try and drop a subtle hint to Mason, or try to make him jealous, or not make a fuss? I'm waiting for the right person. That's so sweet. I'm sure you'll find them eventually. Yeah, hopefully someday. I flicked my gaze to meet Mason's for a moment until he looked away. Was I imagining it, or did he look flustered? You know, I always thought Emma and Mason would end up together, since they've always been so close. Oh, damn it, Mackenzie, shut up! In the deafening silence that filled the room, I considered kicking my sister under the table. Mason stiffened, and after what felt like an eternity, Principal Jennings cleared his throat. Well, sometimes two people are just close because they're good friends. After all, the two of you are practically siblings. Isn't that right? I wish the floor would open up and swallow me. Mason quickly stood up. Oh, would you look at that? Everyone's done eating. How about I clear the dishes? That's kind of you, Mason, but your family is already nice enough to host. Emma, how about you clean up instead? Yeah, sure thing. I glumly washed the dishes, secretly glad I didn't have to be involved in the conversation any longer. It was clear that Mason's parents didn't think I was on Mason's level. Was that because I wasn't? Were my hopes just wishful thinking? Hey. Ah! He caught my hand as I whirled around, stopping me from dropping the plate I was holding. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry for, well, that whole dinner. Our parents clearly don't know what to talk about. Yeah, I guess it's been a long time. Maybe they all think they have something in common, well, us. But I'm, glad we're all doing this, even if it's off to a rough start. We both smiled a little and felt slightly better. At least we both had found that conversation uncomfortable. Well, hey, you don't have to wash all those. I'll get the rest later. What do you say we take a break from the family stuff and slip out for a minute to just enjoy time together? We could even go to the treehouse. Is that the thing still up there in the forest? I never took it down, actually. I still sit up in there sometimes. It makes me think of all the times we spent as kids. Come on, you deserve to break after all. And maybe we can, talk. He gently touched my shoulder, and I couldn't stop myself from leaning a little bit closer to him. He looked at me earnestly. Oh, fine, we'll go to a clubhouse, even though it's depressing. Let's go before they notice we're missing. The treehouse wasn't far, and I climbed the weathered wooden ladder. A wave of nostalgia hit me. The reason why I say sadness is because of the fact that I am literally in this girl's position. I really, really like someone who likes someone else and doesn't really have that feeling towards me that I can tell, and I've literally confessed myself to them, and it's just... yeah, it's always one-sided with me anymore. How many times had Mason and I huddled away up here over the years, sharing adventures, sorrows, and hopes? This isn't quite up as high as I remember. Well, we were much smaller when we hung out here. We reached the top platform of the treehouse. Mason extended a hand to help me, pulling me up effortlessly. I took in the sight of our old hero, and everything was just as I remembered, and I laughed as I read the sign painted in childish scrawl. No ghosts allowed. Official treehouse sign. Intimidating. Who knows how many ghosts this warded off back in the day. I don't know about you, but the 10-year-old me was very concerned about ghost attacks. That's probably because you actually saw The Conjuring on TV when you were way too young. Thankfully, I've got over the fear. Mostly. But no Ouija boards for me. As I looked around, I couldn't help but smile at all the reminders of a happy experience we'd had together. I wandered to the window where a small telescope was set up. Wow, this is still here after all this time? It was packed in the attic for a couple of years, but I brought it out here again recently. I peered into the lens, and the glittering blanket of stars twinkled back at me. Remember when you wanted to be an astronomer? I think I was more interested in finding shapes in the stars than actual astronomy. An early sign of your artistic side? What artistic side? That's Mac. Don't be modest, those photos you took of the team a while back turned out great. Oh, look, a shooting star! A brief flash of trailing light rocketed across the sky. Did you make a wish? Hey, I can't tell you or it won't work. That sounds mysteriously like you're keeping a secret from me. What? Shocker. This week on Pixelberry Does Books, Secrets, everyone's keeping one. I hoped he couldn't see me blush in the darkness of the treehouse. I don't make the rules. Okay, I respect your privacy. If that star could grant wishes, I'd ask it to let Mason kiss me right now. But he had already moved on to a piece of paper tacked to the wall. Remember our old treasure maps? I peered over the crayon scribbling impression of our neighborhood, with landmarks crudely drawn and a big red X scrawled in the middle. Oof. Oh wow. Forget satellite technology. We're the most reliable map makers in town. I can't believe the state never took us up on our offer to include these in our city's directory. In all seriousness, though, I had so much fun running around with you every summer, looking for treasure. Same. I think I still have some of the bottle caps we found. Listen, those will be worth a lot if Fallout ever happens. It's a shame we never found any gold. True, but at least I got you. Yeah, you do. And I've got you too. There was a beat of silence where he held my gaze and looked like he wanted to say something more. Oh, for the love of God. He reached over suddenly, sweeping a lock of hair from my face. And that's better than any treasure. My eyes shifted to something I hadn't expected to see. I kneeled down to admire a heart carved in the floor. Mason plus Emma. Wow, I forgot about this. Didn't we promise we were going to get married someday? Ah, this is cringe. This is now becoming even cringier. Mason grinned sheepishly as he knelt beside me. He brushed away some pine needles from the floor, his hand almost touching mine. Well, who knows what could happen over the next few years. Oh, can I just yell cringe? Looking into his eyes as we grinned, standing in our childhood hideout, for a moment it felt like no time had passed at all. The flame I'd harbored for Mason all these years was still there, burning strong. Even the warmth of his smile couldn't distract me from the reality that he was dating Ava now. But I wondered if things could change someday. Mason and I wish things were still like that. We were so young and carefree and felt like the whole world was ahead of us. Now I feel like everything is piling up. School, family, social pressures. Mason took my hands in his. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Emma, I promise whatever you have to deal with, I'll be by your side. Me too. I could have stayed up there forever, just the two of us, but Mason had another idea. There's one more thing. Can you come up to my room for a minute? I want to show you something. My heartbeat accelerated. He was looking so earnestly at me. What did he want to show you? One thing was certain. That night was kicking up a whole storm of feelings for me. Little did I know that Mason was struggling with the feelings of his own. He wants to show you his action figure collection. Shut up. Just shut up.
Listen, this is my G.I. Joe, and this is... Hi.
You should maybe, hit the like button on this video. You know what you also should do? You should share this channel. Maybe even share this video to your friends, your family. We have almost 3,000 videos on this channel. All depending on the quality. Okay? And there's tons. There's reviews, there's blogs, there's vlogs, there's, just me ranting. There's, all this crap. All of it, just all of it. Okay? So much you could share with people. Okay? So you should do that. Okay? It means a lot more growing the channel, and without you doing it, pretty much this channel will die. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.